Hi, and welcome to another Fairly Standard review. I'm short-shrilled and always to the left. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Is it as good as people say? Is the story that good? Is the combat as good as everyone's saying it is? Yes, no, maybe so. Metal Gear Solid 5's story starts off right at the end of Ground Zero. Mother Base has just been destroyed.
They played us like a damn fiddle!
Help me, Snake. Chico.
It all ends soon, exactly as I've planned.
No!
Give my regards to your boss when you get home.
Your helicopter's been practically blown up and you're in a 9-year coma. Now you wake up at the beginning from that coma.
Who is me? Who is me? Can you hear me? Are you having difficulty speaking?
Right after this happens, the shit starts to hit the fan as the bad guys, Cypher, find out that you're alive, so they send a bunch of assassins to kill you.
Everything feels all right?
Out of there and start the story.
You can't have much left in him. I give him 3 days, tops. If we fail, and he dies, we lose our chance of revenge. You're a legend in the eyes of those who live on the battlefield. Now go! Let the legend come back to life.
The story pretty much boils down to Big Boss, Kaz Miller, and Revolver Ocelot getting revenge on Skullface and Cypher. That's it. I think that's all.
No. It's not true. That's impossible!
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
That's pretty much what it is. All the missions you do, all the side ops, pretty much are just there as filler. And about, I don't know how many, but a lot of the missions in the game do not really pertain to the main story. A lot of them are just there for you to build up Mother Base. This is pretty much a base building game with a very shallow, very small story packed in there. I guess that kind of makes sense because this game is coming in between, you know, all the previous games. You know, Snake Eater, Metal Gear 3, Snake Eater is, you know, the beginning of the series. You know, this is taking place in the middle. You know, Metal Gear 4 is the end of the series, and this one's 5, so it's smack dab in the middle, so it has to pretty much pertain to everything that happened before, everything that happened after. So they don't really have a lot of places they can go. They either have to, you know, have a very small story where certain bigger characters from in the future don't die, and set up certain ones that'll come in the future. And that's pretty much what this does. It's there as filler. It's good filler, but it's filler. As I said, there's not really that much story, so I'm not really going to go too in-depth into that. So, but I will talk about the characters. Big Boss is back. Kaz Miller, as I mentioned. Revolver Ocelot. Skullface, who's back from Ground Zeroes, who really isn't that good of a villain. And I say that only because he appears in like 4 chapters, and they're very minor appearances.
Enje mo sigenet og banetod. Nå går jeg bek i bunn. You burn with the rest of them.
In 4 chapters, yes, or 4 episodes, sorry, but in 2 of those it's like, you know, blink and you miss him, and then the other 2 are very long, so I guess it kind of evens itself out. But he doesn't really pack that much of a presence in this game. You know, he did in Ground Zeroes, but that's also because that was just a small demo, so it was like, man, he was really, you know, impactful, but it was just, he was in the beginning, that was it. You know, he set the stage. Big Boss, as I said, is back, and he's kind of, he doesn't really do anything. He doesn't talk. He's like mute the entire game practically. I mean, they could have done more with him. That kind of pertains to something else, the cassette tapes for story. Most of the story elements are actually found in the cassette tapes, which is actually, I think, a problem, because some of the time you don't really want to listen to them. You know, while I was playing, I listened to him occasionally, and then when I was in mission, I didn't really want to listen because I was focused, you know, on completing the mission, getting the guy out, blah blah blah, you know. But I also think it was a little bit of a waste to get Kiefer Sutherland in to play Big Boss, because he really doesn't do much. I mean, he doesn't really emote that much, if at all, in the game. I mean, there's an occasional moment where he screams, or, you know, he does some kind of facial movement, but it's usually just this. That's it. It's very minimal and just not very much facial movement, really. I mean,
This. It's a variable, multi-legged tank. A spin-off of Metal Gear technology.
Big fan of spin-offs, isn't he? I hear he borrowed from the Soviets in Costa Rica, too.
The design allows for a lot of freedom in setups. It's based around a central core unit, so you can quickly reconfigure the hardware to suit any sort of mission parameters.
What the good doctor's trying to say is that it's customizable.
Cause I'm having deja vu here.
I don't like him any more than you. But we need this.
You think it'll cut it in the field?
Turning radius is better than any tanks. That's great for regional skirmishes. Tech like this is popping up all among the PFs. Best way to deal with them is to fight fire with fire.
I'll await your instructions then, boss.
So do we have your approval to commence development?
Fine.
Amos said how he wanted someone who could, show who could act facially and whatnot, and it's like, but you didn't really have him do anything. I mean, there's like one scene where he freaks out and that's it, and other than that it's just pretty much the stoic, That's it. That was it, pretty much. So, but vocally, actually, I think Kiefer was very good. That's another thing with the cassette tapes. I wish those had actually been not just his voice on the tape. It could have been cutscenes, but that's neither here nor there. It's not my decision. I just wish it was. The guy who played Miller was very good, very enthusiastic. Troy Baker came in and played Ocelot, who actually doesn't really do that much. He's kind of a boring character because he's in your ear most of the time, like Kaz.
Again with the truth serum?
What are those legs made of? Titanium? All the way to the femur.
Metallic archaea.
Sahelanthropus. Where is it?
What?
We have to know before his plan is complete. Sahelanthropus is the final piece.
What are you talking about?
If the Soviets break out a mobile, controllable nuclear weapon, East-West relations will be right back at the Cuban Missile Crisis.
The Cold War returns to life, as countries without nuclear arsenals line up for what Skullface is selling.
He really doesn't do anything. He's there in the beginning. He breaks you out of the hospital, and that's it. And then he's there with you, and he's kind of like your interrogator and your specialist who doesn't do anything.
Get on! I'm on your side! Hurry! Hurry! Hang on! Use this! Watch our backs! Shoot him! Fire just as he's about to attack!
Then there's Quiet, who is naked practically half the time, but she has some good character moments as well. So she had about two moments where during a cutscene, she made me cry. So that was good. She has good moments, and her costumes are just really awkward. I mean, they're sexy, but they're awkward. So that's not my fault. So. She does have two really cool costumes you get later on in the game, so if you get her bond level up, eventually that'll be nice. Those some good costumes there. I don't know, it's just weird for a game series to be, you know, so heavily story driven that this one kind of focused more on the gameplay and didn't really have that much of a story. So this one's just kind of like a little recommendation if you liked the story elements from the past games. This one doesn't have as much going for it story-wise, so just go into it with that knowledge. Also, boss battles. There's not that many boss battles. The only bosses you really face are one I won't bring up. There is one big one at the end, and then other than that, it's the skulls and Quiet. The Quiet mission you find, hers is a fun little sniper battle. Other than that, it's the skulls, and they're kind of like bullet sponges. So. Shoot them a shit ton of times and that's it. You know, whittle their health down and then boom, you're good. Gameplay is actually the best part of this game. The gameplay is just, it allows for so many different things. You can customize everything. You know, this game pretty much says, alright, here's your mission, you can go save this guy, and this is where he's being held. So you choose what guns you want, whether they be lethal or non-lethal. Whether you want to take in rubber bullet guns, like riot control guns, like there's a submachine gun and an assault rifle, and then you have or lethal, or you can take a sniper rifle, shoot people from afar, go in like that. It's a very big open world that allows you to do whatever you want to do to complete your mission, or the mission, whatever. But it allows for all kinds of customization options, like if you want to be all actiony and, you know, going Rambo, guns blazing, throwing grenades, getting your helicopter to come in and shoot everybody while you're on the ground, getting them out. Or if you want to, you know, go in and, you know, sneak in and go in unnoticed, don't even touch a person, or, you know, it allows for that. There's a ton of customization options for each weapon, and, you know, for the grenades and all that. And you also have buddies. Quiet being one of them. You have the dog, the D-Dog. There's also D-Walker and the horse that you get right at the beginning. So You got a good buddy system. I would recommend only using the horse if you have to. You're gonna use the horse a lot in the beginning because you're not gonna have anything else. So, but the dog and quiet are pretty much the two best. Recommendation: if you find yourself having trouble on certain levels later on that are really hard, use D-Walker. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say which ones, but level up D-Walker and use his Gatling gun, and you'll understand. With gameplay, it adapts to how you play. Like, if you're doing a lot more night missions, they will stock up more at night. If you do more day missions, they'll do the same thing. If you tend to shoot guys in the head with, well, either the tranq darts or your own normal bullets, they'll start wearing helmets. If you're shooting guys more in the chest or in the ass or in the legs, they'll start using more, body armor. They'll have riot shields. The AI is actually really good in that it adapts to you. It adapts to what you've been doing, especially when you go back and play certain levels again. So it's very good at countering what you do. So you have to continuously change up what you've been doing, or not change it up, but adapt. Like, if you're used to shooting guys in the back of the head, and now they're wearing helmets, just walk. You might have to get in closer, and then snag them, interrogate them, do that, and then knock them out. Also, Fulton device, which is pretty cool, but when you get the wormhole, it becomes really easy because you can just Fulton anyone from anywhere, like inside, they're gone. But it's a lot of fun because eventually you're going to just start noticing things. You're like, can I get that car? Yeah, bye. That tank. Eventually, it actually makes certain missions a lot almost too easy in a way. Because you can just jettison everything out. Like, if you're, which isn't a bad thing. It's an interesting thing if you find it by yourself. I did, and it was a lot of fun. Like, there'll be a mission where you have to get out like a tank unit mission where you have to get rid of the entire tank unit, and you got like 9 enemies. There's 2 tanks or something. Take out all the enemies, and there's just tanks left. Sneak up to the tank, Fulton the tank. It's gone. The other one, it's fun. It's a very fun idea. There's also your mother base and FOBs, which I'll talk about in a second. Your mother base is pretty much where you should go, in between missions to clean up, because if you spend too much time out in the field, you'll start to get stinky, and then you'll actually get a funny little cutscene where Ocelot will drench your ass. Mother base is kind of bland in a weird way. Like, you don't really need to search around. I mean, if you do, if you want to find some early on, you should really search it, because obviously you're not going to have as many places to look as later on when you have all 4 4 command centers, 4 R&Ds, 4 medicals. So very early on, you should definitely interrogate your own men and have them give up spots of the diamonds that are hidden around the base. The FOB missions are actually something I didn't really like in the beginning, but they're growing on me. Like, I actually like them now, because originally it was too easy. Like, certain people that I was infiltrating, they didn't have many things to get around. Like, they didn't have many soldiers, they didn't have really many of anything. So it was like, it's the same structure as your base. So it's pretty much, get on there, get up to the top, get in that little bit thing, and they're all pretty much the same. Now, the thing about that is, later on, as the game has been out, it's become harder, which is a lot more fun because there's more guards now. People have more of the money system. They have more guards, they have more traps, they have more stuff like that, and it's a lot more fun now, because before I was just like, well, this is just too easy. So now it's become a lot more fun, and I'm enjoying it a lot more. But it's fun. You can't take anybody's. It's just you. It's you infiltrating their base, and they can capture your men. They can capture your character, unless it's Snake. You can go in and capture their men, their stuff. They take their anti-air, take their cars and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Yeah. Other than that, I think in closing, I think this is a great game that has a very subpar story. Like, it's a filler story. You're there more for the gameplay than you are the story, because the story is just kind of, because it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't really answer any questions. It just says you're out for revenge, and that's it. And have fun with that gameplay. That's what it says. But the gameplay is worth it. And if you're a Metal Gear fan, you've already got this game, so you don't need my recommendation. Go get it. But if you're not, trust me, even if you don't like story, you will be a little sad because it's so paper thin. But trust me, the gameplay is definitely worth it. I think I would give this an 8.5 or a 9 if I was to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. But I would say definitely get it if you can. If not, and if you have the opportunity, I would rent it first, obviously, because then you can go, well, I did really like that, so you know what? Boom, buying it. But other than that, good game. So I guess I'll see you on Mad Max.
I am quiet. I am the absence of words.